This first portion of the video is sponsored by CoinLedger. CoinLedger is a crypto and NFT tax software built to save you time and help maximize your tax refund. Thankfully, CoinLedger has made the process of doing this super easy. All you have to do is sign up for an account and link your crypto wallets. That's it. What CoinLedger then does is it looks at the transaction data of those wallets and uses that to automatically generate a tax report for you in your country's local currency. You can then take this report and export it into any tax filing software like TurboTax or TaxAct, or you can send it off directly to an accountant. Best part is that if you use my link in the description below, you can sign up and use CoinLedger entirely for free. And once you're happy with the reports and are ready to export, you can save 10% by using my discount code 𝗬𝗑. So make sure you click on that link in the video description below for more details. Thank you CoinLedger for sponsoring that portion of the video. So new day, new most profitable GPU mining coin, huh? Well, today we're gonna talk about Pyrin, which was just listed on its first few exchanges, meaning we can now know exactly how profitable it actually is to mine, and we can also actually realize our mining profits by selling the mined coins if we want. So I'm going to start the video by quickly explaining in simple terms what the Pyrin project actually is. Then we're gonna look at how to mine it, including what hardware you need, how to set up a wallet, how to mine it in both Windows and HiveOS, how to connect to the pool and track your mining earnings there, and finally we'll also have a look at what those exchanges are where you can actually swap or sell your mined Pyrin. So a big thank you to the Hero Miners Pyrin mining pool for making this guide possible by sponsoring this video, and with that, let's get right into it. Alright, so Pyrin is still a very new coin project, and as always when mining new coins, there are some potential risks you should be mindful of and precautions that you should take. And as always, I want to stress here that these are not specific at all to Pyrin, but rather use general things to be aware of no matter what project you are mining. Starting with that, while mining new coins can be very attractive to a lot of people because there can be a much higher potential for coin price growth, there is of course also still the risk that the coin price might not grow at all or even go all the way down to zero, which means you've lost everything that you mined. Obviously, when coins are brand new, there is no track record proving them to be legit, so we can't know for sure until much later in the future if a project was actually on the up and up, or just a quick pump and dump, or even just a straight up scam. There can of course also be risks involved too. For example, there is always a risk that the actual coin project itself could be nefarious. An example of this that we've seen before is where the wallet app for a new coin is just a disguised piece of malware. So while you're thinking you're installing the official wallet app of a new coin, you're actually installing a computer virus that will, for example, go in and steal all the crypto from the other wallets you have installed on your network. So just keep in mind, you should always take extra care if you need to install any app that you can't say for 100% sure that you trust. I'm actually working on a video for how to safely install and use wallet apps the easy way without putting your other wallets, devices or network at risk. So subscribe if you don't want to miss that video coming up here on the channel really soon. And also, again, I'm gonna point out that I'm not saying that any of this for sure is gonna be the case for Pyrin. Yes, they are general risks to be aware of when mining new coins, and I simply want to make sure I put that in every video where I talk about mining newer coins. So this is the part of the video where I discuss in simple terms what the coin project is actually all about. And again, just like in my recent video about 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, it's going to be a very short segment, as just like 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, Pyrin is just a copy of the 𝗏𝗏𝗏 coin project, aka a fork of 𝗏𝗏𝗏. The only difference between 𝗏𝗏𝗏 and Pyrin, so far at least, is that Pyrin has changed the mining algorithm from 𝗘-heavy-hash to Pyrin hash. And if that sounds familiar, it's because that's exactly the same thing that 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 did. Now, as opposed to 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 that made it very clear that their reason for changing the mining algorithm was to make the coin ASIC resistant and GPU mining focused, Pyrin doesn't really mention any intentions like that at all. There is one small mention in their documentation saying that Pyrin is ASIC resistant, so take that for what it's worth. But by reading on their website, it seems more like they decided to change the algo because they think this algo they are using is a better functioning algo, as opposed to it being chosen for the sake of it being ASIC resistant. Now, another thing that separates Pyrin from 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 is that while it seems 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏's only intention was to be an ASIC resistant version of 𝗏𝗏𝗏, Pyrin also mentions other goals for the project on their website. The main two being to add smart contracts, as well as implementing something they call PAIW, so like POW, proof of work, and AI, which in my opinion is extremely loosely explained on their website as And I'm paraphrasing here, but basically just taking mining and making it do AI stuff also. Now, I'm not sure if what they're wanting to do is something like proof of useful work along the lines of projects like Dynex, which you can watch my video explaining how that project works, by the way. Link to that will be in the description. Or if their intention is more to be some sort of compute power marketplace, like, for example, OctaSpace, which, again, link to my explanation for that project in the description too. But basically, with Pyrin, there is currently no roadmap, no white paper, and not really anything at all to give you any further insights to what this PYI is on their website or in any of their documentation. Now, granted, the coin is still extremely new, with its first block being mined just over 3 weeks ago, so hopefully more info about how this new technology works will be available soon. So, what do you need to mine Pyrin? Well, as mentioned, the Pyrin blockchain uses the Pyrin hash algorithm, which, for now, is a GPU mining focused algorithm. So, you'd need either a computer with a decent GPU or a dedicated GPU mining rig. On top of that, you also need a Pyrin wallet, a mining pool, and a mining software. Starting with the computer, you can basically use any computer with a decent GPU in it, or if you're wanting to get properly started in GPU mining by building your first GPU mining rig, I do have a short playlist going over all the best GPUs for mining, both in terms of value for money and power efficiency. I'll link that down in the video description as well. Down there you'll also find some of my recommended GPUs and mining rig parts listed if you don't care to watch those videos in the playlist and just want to get the parts right away. Now, to get optimal mining performance, you'll need to overclock and undervolt your GPUs. And to do that, you can either just copy some overclock settings from websites like hashrate.no, which will give you decent results. Definitely better than just running your GPUs on stock settings, which I definitely do not recommend you doing. But the best option is always to tweak your overclock settings yourself, as all GPUs are individual and need unique overclock settings. And luckily, I have full video guides for how to do this both on Nvidia and AMD GPUs. I'll link those down in the video description as well. The next thing you need is your Pyrin wallet, which you can think of as your Pyrin bank account. And if you just want to mine Pyrin in order to immediately sell or exchange it, you can just mine it directly to an exchange wallet. Now, mining directly to an exchange is usually not recommended, but as long as you make sure you only get a payout once a day or so from the mining pool, you're usually fine. More on what a mining pool is and how to change the payout threshold a bit later in this video, as well as what exchanges you can use to swap or sell your mined Pyrin coins. But let's talk about the wallet now, because by the time you're watching this video, Pyrin most likely has launched their web wallet already, which you should be able to find on their official Pyrin website. Setting that up should be very straightforward, just follow the instructions on the actual page. But if that's not out yet when you're watching this, and you also don't want to mine directly to an exchange wallet, well, then we're instead gonna have to use their CLI wallet, which is significantly more complicated to set up than the web wallet, so I'll walk you through how to do that step by step. And now, as I mentioned earlier, I'm working on a video guide for how to easily install wallets like this without putting your other wallets, devices, or network at risk. But until I have that video ready, I really do recommend you only install wallets like this on virtual machines on a completely separate, isolated network to stay as safe as possible. So when you have that ready, just come to the official Pyrin GitHub and download the latest PYI software. I'm on Windows, so I'm gonna get the Windows version here. And you are probably going to have to make an exclusion in Windows Defender and any eventual antivirus software you might have for the folder that you're downloading this to, as well as jump through any eventual security hoops that your web browser throws at you. Then just extract the zip file, open the folder and copy the path to the folder. Then open a Windows terminal window. Next, first type cd and paste the path to the folder that we just copied and hit enter. Then type the command /pyipad.exe /UTXO-index and hit enter. This command is now going to start running the Pyrin node on your machine. If at this point you get a Windows security alert pop up, check private networks but uncheck public networks and hit allow access. Again, all of this is of course done at your own risk. Next, we need to open a second terminal window and again type cd and paste the path to the folder like we did in the first window and hit enter. Then type the command /pyrinwallet.exe /create and hit enter. Type in the password of your choosing, hit enter, confirm it by typing it again and hit enter again. This then gives us our public key of mnemonic number 1, which you might want to save somewhere. But please note, as it says here, that this is neither your private key nor is it your wallet address. So let's create those next. Starting with the wallet address, we now need to again open a new terminal window for a third time and, you guessed it, type cd and paste the path to our folder and hit enter. Then in this third window, we need to type the command /pyrinwallet.exe space start-daemon and hit enter. This will now start syncing your wallet with the blockchain node that you are running in the other terminal window. And with that, it's actually time to create our wallet address. So for a fourth and final time, open a new terminal window and type cd and paste the path to your folder and hit enter. Then in this fourth terminal window, type the command /pyrinwallet.exe space new-address and hit enter. This now gives us our actual wallet address. So make sure you save this somewhere because we're going to need it later. Finally, we absolutely need to get our private key for this wallet as well. And to do that, in this same terminal window, you can just type the command /pyrinwallet.exe space dump-unencrypted-data and hit enter. Then just hit Y and enter, then your password again and enter, and the wallet will now print your full mnemonic seed phrase. I highly recommend you write this down somewhere safe, as you'll need it to restore your wallet. Now finally, to send coins from your wallet, enter the command /pyrinwallet.exe space send space -v space and then the amount you want to send space -t space and then the wallet address you want to send the coins to. Oof, that was a mouthful. And if you're sending to an exchange wallet, you should be able to find your receiving address on that exchange's website after you log in there. To see what exchanges you can currently trade or sell Pyrin on, just look the coin up on hashrate.no and click on markets. Here you'll see all the currently available exchanges for the coin. Of course, I can't vouch for any of these exchanges and you'll have to do your own research on if you're comfortable using them or not. Next, we need a mining pool. And for those of you who might be new, a mining pool is basically just a place where you get together with a bunch of other miners for the coin and you split the mining rewards equally based on the hash rate each person has. The reason for doing this is to take the luck factor out of mining so that everyone gets paid fairly. Of course, we're gonna go with hero miners for our pool. Not only because they are a long-term trusted mining pool with support for loads of different coins, but also because they made this guide possible by sponsoring this video. You can find their Pyrin mining pool at pyrin.herominers.com. Finally, we need a mining software, and we're gonna use lolminer as it supports both NVIDIA and AMD GPUs for Pyrin mining. So let's see how to download and set that up in Windows, and then we'll move over to HiveOS. To download lolminer in Windows, you just need to come to their official GitHub page, click on releases and download the latest version of the miner by right-clicking on the Windows zip file and choosing save file as. Now, it is important that you save this file in a folder where you've made an exclusion inside of Windows Defender and any eventual antivirus software you might have, just like we had to do with the CLI wallet. And you might also have to disable safety features in your web browser to be able to download the file. This is because mining software is often falsely flagged as malware, since a lot of malware also features mining software in it. Making these exclusions are of course always done at your own risk, so just keep that in mind. After the zip file is downloaded, just unzip it and then right click on basically any of the bat files here and hit edit. And once you have that open, you can basically get rid of everything that's in here, and to fill it out, the easiest way is to just open up pyrin.herominers.com and click on Start in the menu at the top. All we have to do then is just scroll down and click on the lolminer tab here. We can then just copy what's in this box here and paste that into our bat file. Then we just need to paste in our wallet address that we got from the wallet a bit earlier and fill in a name for our mining rig. I'll just go with 𝗬𝗏's rig 1 here. Finally, you just need to hit save as and save the new bat file in the same folder as the others. Make sure you select all files in the file type dropdown, name it something you'll remember and hit save. Then just double click on it to run it and that's it. You should now be up and mining Pyrin. If you're bumping into some issues at this point, you might just need to restart your computer. As for overclocking in Windows, you can just set your OC settings in either Radeon software for AMD GPUs or MSI Afterburner for NVIDIA GPUs. That's for sure the easiest way to do it if you're just looking to mine a bit on the side with your gaming PC or something along those lines. However, if you're wanting to mine on a full dedicated GPU mining rig, you can instead add your OC settings using commands directly inside the bat file we just made. But that said, if you've got a full dedicated GPU mining rig, you're probably using HiveOS anyway, so let's have a look at that next. And setting up Pyrin mining in HiveOS is even easier. To start, if you have AMD GPUs, just add the overclock settings for your GPUs inside the worker dashboard like normal, but for NVIDIA GPUs there is a slight advantage to putting your overclock settings in the miner config in your flight sheets. I'll show you how to do that when we get to that step in just a minute. But for now, just go to your flight sheets and create a new flight sheet. Select PYI as the coin, hit add wallet and fill in your wallet address, name it and hit create. Then in the pool section, select hero miners as the pool and pick the server that is closest to you to get the fastest possible connection. Then in the miner field, pick 𝗏𝗏. If you have NVIDIA GPUs and want to add your overclock settings in the miner config, just hit setup miner config, and in the extra parameters box, this is how you add your core clock, core offset, memory clock, memory offset and power limit. If you have multiple GPUs and want to give them different OC settings, you separate each GPU with a comma like I have here. After this, you just name your flight sheet and that's it. You can now apply this flight sheet to your GPU mining rig to start mining Pyrin to your wallet. Finally, to track your mining earnings, just go back to pyrin.herominers.com and make sure you are on the Home tab in the top menu. Then you scroll down and paste your wallet address in the field labeled Your Stats and Payment History and hit Look Up. You'll then be presented with all of your mining statistics and you should be able to see all your mining rigs, your earnings and payouts. You can then also click on the settings button in the top menu, and here you can change your minimum payout threshold if you want, which is a good way to make sure your payments are less frequent. For example, you might want to do this if you're mining directly to an exchange wallet. Please subscribe for more mining videos, and over here on the screen I'll put the playlist with my videos about the best GPUs to get for mining right now, as well as my video on how to properly overclock AMD GPUs for mining. So, I'll see you there. Thanks for watching.